Late Night Grin. Also, what does that name mean?
It's a beautiful Friday night, and folks, I believe, I could be wrong on this, I probably am. I think this may be some LNG history because the Grin Grappler quartet all on the flagship I think this is the first time a situation, and if that wasn't enough, a returning Hall of Famer, expert panel as always. We hope you are well this evening. We are here for an extensive discussion about the history of TNA Bound for Glory. Your mileage may vary. Nonetheless, we're going to have a hell of a time. Bob O'Neill, you are here as our correspondent when it comes to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well. I'm ready for my role. I have hard copy paper here.
Hell yeah.
We're all set, man.
Tremendous stuff, Jackie. Been a while, brother. Back in business. How have you been?
I'm just coming to hang out for a little bit before I have to go back to work for the night. I miss you guys. I miss the fans, you know.
Yeah. That had big like WWE Hall of Fame speech energy, dude. The way you said that.
We need Jackie with the Ultimate Warrior face paint on.
Yeah.
You spoke to me.
It was honestly more kind of like Vern, I got the sense. I miss the fans.
Yeah.
I miss the fans.
Because he did start with the well, you know, which is very Vern.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
I miss the fans.
I
miss you, Jackie.
I miss being here. I had some time on a Friday night, so I texted Joe and said, "What the hell? Can I please come?
Yeah.
Can I please?"
And I think, I said something to the effect of, "It's a proper old head show tonight. You'll be fine, bro."
Yeah, Joe's like, all the old fucks are here. Please come.
Makes sense to me. Speaking of such, the returning Oracle of Wrestling back in the building. New mic called. Ready to go. Sharp haircut. Locked in. Oracle, how are you, brother?
Well, on September 20th at about 6:40 p.m. Eastern, I left the All Out
Grin
Along.
You did?
To go to my brother's apartment to watch a football game.
True.
6 days later, I had planned to be on a cast that involved ranking music, I believe.
True, yes.
Yep.
I went to the local Greek Fest here in Knoxville.
True.
I came home, turned on a game.
Wow.
Came to my guest bedroom to prepare for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly, to my great surprise, someone had broken into my apartment.
A thief in the night.
Had completely ignored the entire 100+ wrestling DVDs in this room. They ignored the laptop, the mic itself,
Over the limit 2012 didn't draw them in.
You know, and they took the mic cord.
Yeah.
Today, it remains a mystery.
It does.
I'm sure that the thief will return it
any minute now.
Reappear in amusing fashion one day. At one point, I went to Walmart and got the wrong thing.
You did. It was very funny.
And then I managed to get the help of one Joe Holbert to send me the link.
You spoke to your team, and we figured it out for you.
Website in order to get a new mic cord, and here I am.
What a journey! What a journey it's been. And
Here I am to talk about the first 3 or 4 Bound for Glories before I throw my hands in the air and go, yeah, have fun with the rest.
so that will be a topic, I think, tonight as we go here. But
Yeah.
it is a natural point for us to say we are expecting to do the Grappler on Tuesday. Right? That's the plan. That's the working plan. Tajiri Grin Grappler, hopefully on Tuesday. So
that's a good one.
we'll let it play out. Contrarian Alex, I hear it's been a traumatic evening on the football front. How are you?
It's a little mixed bag. We get UNT actually getting some play and treated like a big game, so of course it's natural we fumble the ball both metaphorically and literally. But yeah, it's been a mixed bag of an evening. Always glad to be back on the flagship here. As you can see, my stylish new fucking lid of Tony Storm here. I got this along with my all-in 2025 Blu-ray, which if Joe Holbert allows me, I can do some physical media dissection. What an atrocious release that was. I've got some serious problems with all.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about this. Let's go.
All right, hold on. Let me get it off the shelf here. All right.
Okay.
So look
Is
at
it another
this.
one of those ones that isn't in like a case? Because that shit's a real problem.
It's in the cardboard like shell here.
Yeah.
But, like, look at this fucking Avengers horseshit cover on this, man. Like, what? Like this isn't in stores. People aren't like browsing the shelves at Best Buy and catching this and being like, "Oh, what's this?" I mean, you got Tony there looking cool and Okada looking fucking bemused, and then the back is like this. Just look at this. It's like fucking, it's
Oh,
up.
Jesus. It looks like every SummerSlam from the 2010s. Oh, fuck.
Yep.
And that's the back cover. And then inside, we got the 2 discs with no fucking listing on what's on either disc of this. It's it's offensive to the senses, and I feel
No listing.
no.
You're a blind man. You just got to just hope for the best.
Yeah, you don't know which disc the Costco guys are on. So
The Nick Wayne match could be on either disc. Alex will never know. You'll never know.
Well, the worst part is the Nick Wayne match is up here, and I can never get rid of it. But anyway, no, I'm very happy to be here tonight. I may be reacting to the North Texas game as it progresses. I know the world famous Denton Hooters is alive and thriving tonight. A venue in which many TNA shows and Bound for Glories were discussed back in the day. So, tying it all together. Besides my rant on the all-in Blu-ray, physical media is proper represented here in the form of Bound for Glory tonight. So this will be an Oracle already got to the point. But by the time of the Jeff Hardy heel turn in 2010 and beyond, I think we're all just going to be like, sure. I mean, there's the Bobby Roode James Storm match, and then we'll just after that, who knows what's going to happen. But I mean, there's a lot of interesting discussion here. I did go back. There's a match from a later. It's still like 12 years ago, a later Bound for Glory. I went and revisited in preparation for this. I was like, yeah, this is really great. So I think this will be a fun conversation. And to the original point Joe made, it's the Grin Grappler crew unleashed live on a Friday night. So who knows what's going to come from this?
Yes, indeed. And we do know many wrestling fans, which I believe is most of our audience covered, they may be getting an early night's sleep because there's a big show in the morning, right? The Crown Jewel is on in mere hours. And I do want to note, we are live for that show. For better or worse, right or wrong, there's a link in the chat now. It is live and free. If you're watching this, you can watch that. Here in 9 hours, you'll be live to watch professional wrestling.
Here's the thing. I may join that, so I have a 7 a.m. alarm. 2 things could happen. 3 things could happen. One is I could somehow manage to get sleep and get up for that. Which, let's be honest, that's up in the air. 2, I could sleep through the alarm, possible. Or 3, which would be probably the most likely but funny scenario, which would be I get up, go, no, I ain't doing this, and texting Joe, no, fuck this, I ain't doing this, and going back to sleep.
I was going to say, it's definitely most likely you make an actual decision you're not going to do it. I think they're just sleeping through it. I think it'll be fine. But nonetheless.
So,
I am not proud of the fact that I saw the clip from Raw of Asuka slapping Kairi Sane, and I legitimately reacted, no, Like I said, no out loud.
Yeah. Stuff's been good, man. It's been very, very good. Hopefully the match is awesome. I think it will be. Okay. The way this is going to work, folks, we have been accepting ballots from our many grinners. We got around 15 grinner ballots, and then I had some friends chip in. We had 20 votes, I believe, overall.
Nice.
They listed their top 5 Bound for Glory matches. I have done the mathematics, and we tonight will have a top 15. In moments, we're going to work through that top 15, and that will allow us to discuss things in a little more detail. But before we do that, I thought it would be a nice way to kick the program off by just sort of broadly talking about, when I say Bound for Glory, what comes to mind? Bob O'Neill, where does your brain go? Right out the gate.
I think just because I only watched the first 4 or 5, and most of them had a Monsters Ball match with Abyss, I kind of relate those two things together. Just because the first one he has, I think, probably my favorite match of the night on the show in 2005, and then from there he's got one with Van Dam a little bit later on. He's got a couple, so it kind of feels like the show for the Monsters Ball, and it's also just remembering like it was the first show that they took out of Nashville or Orlando, and we'll talk about that a little bit later too. But yeah, those are kind of the two big things, just based on when I was watching, and
Yeah, that makes sense. And that makes a lot of sense. I think it's fair to say, I'm spoiling anything by saying the Monsters Ball match will probably come up at some point on our list, right?
Yeah.
Jack Crosby, I'm intrigued. Does anything come to mind when I say Bound for Glory to you?
Just that it's TNA's WrestleMania. Although I always get confused. I'm like,
yes,
anniversary, because they treat both of them the same.
Yeah, Dave's very mad about that. We'll get into that.
And you can never differentiate between which is with WWE, which is the WrestleMania, which is SummerSlam. But TNA throughout the years have differentiated between Bound for Glory is the WrestleMania, no Slammiversary. You can't miss this. It's like, well, which one is it?
So I think it's even funnier than that. I think they've always been bullish on the idea of Bound for Glory as their WrestleMania, but they've consistently failed to actually produce it in that way, which is fascinating because, as I've said a million times over the past week, there have been 20 Bound for Glories. That is psychotic. That's just bizarre. And I think most wrestling fans don't have a couple matches that come to mind, which is just interesting to me, Very, very interesting tale. The Bound for Glory tale. We're going to talk about that Mania element in a minute. Oracle, when I say Bound for Glory, where does your mind go? I'm intrigued.
Well, I typically think about the peak period, of TNA for me. Basically, 05 and 06. That's basically it. When I think of Bound for Glory, I think of the two ones that I saw live. My uncle ordered the first one, and then my dad ordered the one in 06. And then I got I rented Bound for Glory 07. Not rented, sorry, bought it from the shelves of a used bookstore in about 08 or 09, and have watched that show for some reason several times over the years. But so I typically think of the first 3 when I think of it, because that's nostalgia and whatnot. And I also kind of think of the early, the kind of the Hogan era too, the early 2010 shows.
Mm-hmm.
Sting Hogan. That stuff sort of comes to mind. But yeah, it definitely felt like WrestleMania at first to me.
Yeah.
Over time, I always assumed Slammiversary was a bigger show for years.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of with Jack and Joe both in that it's really inconsistent about which one is. I don't know. They can never really figure it out.
Yeah. I'm surprised no one's brought up, and I'm maybe Alex will go in this direction, but one thing that's interesting about Bound for Glory that we'll talk about in more depth as we go through the list, the kind of Sting element where he was they almost do sort of Sting's own little mini streak in the late 2000s there, and that's part of the build to the AJ match. Alex, I'm intrigued. When I say Bound for Glory, where does your mind go first?
Oh, brother, many places. First of all, just to get this out of the way real quick, does the Hogan Sting match make the top 15?
More on that to come.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, then we'll save that talking point. Anyway, Bound for Glory. TNA started their real push in November of 2004 with the first Victory Road pay-per-view. And a year after that is when they decided, okay, we're going to do something that was like our hallmark or a trademark pay-per-view. And that's when they started Bound for Glory. And I had to step aside real quick, so I'm really sorry if I'm repeating any points here. I don't know if it's been mentioned. The first Bound for Glory, it was going to be Kevin Nash winning the NWA title. And, he had a heart attack or didn't dig the creative, depending on which version of history you believe. And that led to Rhino winning the title in the first one. But the first one was built like a fucking big show. It was the blow off to AJ and Christopher Daniels, or it was the rematch, AJ and Christopher Daniels with 30-minute Iron Man match. They brought in Liger to be, the victim to Joe, which was a really big deal. They attempted to showcase the Ultimate X in a fairly disastrous match on live pay-per-view. The main thing I remember from the first Bound for Glory, and this was when I was living in a dorm, so I had no access to like pay-per-views, and this is before the days of illegal streaming, like at least as far as I knew. The main thing I remember from the first one was the Monsters Ball match. Everyone on the forums and everyone online was losing their fucking shit. I remember the quote. I don't remember who posted, but I remember the quote that said, "Tonight was Jeff Hardy's career performance," and that I think still in some ways is legitimate, but it still was just TNA because it was in the Impact Zone. The next year, 2006, in Pontiac, Michigan, I think about 4,000 people there, which doesn't sound like much when we're talking about the modern landscape of professional wrestling, but you have to understand this is before streaming, and the Ring of Honor was on the ascent clearly at that point, but still it felt so niche. So the idea that another wrestling company could hold a pay-per-view that drew that many live fans was pretty big. It was a pretty big deal. I know, or I can't remember. It might have been the Jarrett Bound for Glory when we talked about the Sting match that Oracle and I talked about. That night in 2006 after Bound for Glory, it felt like something significant had happened in the world of professional wrestling. And it's Joe, we have our Criterion thing going at this point. So it's not a first, second, third, fourth round release, but it's one that comes out way down the line and people are like, finally, Bound for Glory 2006 is in the collection. So I remember like me and my college buddies pooled together money to buy the pay-per-view, buy beer, buy food, which was not like common because we were broke college kids, but we all wanted to watch that Bound for Glory 2006 pay-per-view. And that was a really special event. Unfortunately, the month after that, TNA made some creative decisions that pretty much derailed any and all momentum that they had, if you can believe that. That might be a reoccurring theme of the discussion here tonight. But the years that came, to Joe's point, it became the Sting show. It became the Sting's going to be in the main event. Will Sting win? And it then went through this like period of just kind of like, okay, to Oracle's point and everyone else has mentioned about Slammiversary, it always felt like Slammiversary had a way more optimistic ending than Bound for Glory did. And and then the 2013, like specifically 2012, kind of this really unwarranted second wind of momentum TNA had in 2012 was killed by Bound for Glory 2012. And then 2013 was like, well, maybe. And then it just kind of went on. And pretty much, and that's going to be the discussion after here, for the past fucking 11 years of Bound for Glory, the only thing I really remember is that triple threat match that Matt Hardy won with, I think it was McIntyre and EC3.
Yeah, the one in Carolina, right?
Yeah, I remember watching that one because it
that's been 2015, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it felt the closest to a big deal that any of those had been. But I'm obviously, like I always do, being very loquacious about this. The whole point is there was like a very specific moment in time where Bound for Glory felt like a pivoting point for the wrestling industry. And then unfortunately, as would become tradition with TNA, kind of just and But that being said, a lot of dudes busted their asses on those cards, and there are a lot of good matches that we can speak of. Some underrated, some I think underappreciated. So I'm very curious how this discussion is going to go here tonight.
Yeah, I think that's an important point because we're going to have some, there's going to be some back and forth and even some, I'm sure some critiques inevitably bleed in because it's TNA. But as we go through these matches, there's been a lot of great wrestling matches on this show. I was going to do a little honorable mentions action to close this program, but I think, you know what? Alex went there, and I think we'll just do this. Let's just do this now as its own thing. Hogan and Sting did not make the list. And I thought it would be a fun thing to do in 2 hours, but I think actually it's best we're fresh when we attack this. So,
and it's brother, RIP,
exactly.
all that. Yeah, it's I don't mean to get ahead of you, Joe, but
no, you're fine.
That is, if you love, hate, or ambivalent about Hulk Hogan,
it's unbelievable. Unfortunately,
that is yes, that is one of the that's the thing you point to and go, that's Hulk Hogan. That's what he is capable of.
It's uncomfortably powerful. I'm afraid to say. I'm sorry to say. It is a powerful scene, and I'm not happy with that. But it's the truth. It is what it is.
Uncomfortably powerful is a fucking god tier quote.
Poster quote. It made some list. There was some ballots that featured it, but it just missed out. And there's another one that is really good that I was stunned missed out, which we'll talk about later. But I guess, is there anything else you want to say about that, Alex? Because I know you're big on celebrating.
Oh yeah,
the truth. I'm just fucking around. I know we've talked about that match. Is there anything else you want to say on that before we dive into our list here in a moment?
Just that all the numbers and metrics and all the things going into it. Go listen to Laps fans' coverage of Hogan's run in TNA. But just as a wrestling fan, everything about it is so bad. And he has Sting crawling to him, begging him for help. But it is the majesty of Hulk Hogan as a professional wrestling performer that he this crowd is just going ape shit for this old man that can barely move. It's uncomfortably powerful would be I think the best way to summarize it there. That's the Rotten Tomatoes quote.
Yeah, it's magic. Unfortunately, it's magic. 10-10-10. I'm sure that will come up here at some point. Or maybe not actually. I don't know. I can't remember. But indeed, they.
Well, using proper.
That I remember.
Yeah.
Proper grammar being used there, though, because remember the big there here was THERE.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shocking that Jeff Jarrett couldn't have figured out that an error had been made on the fan sign. Tremendous stuff. Thank you, Plethora. That was a there here is so funny, dude. Thank you, Plethora. I hope you're having a good night. Goldface been a member for 13 months. Says, sorry, Oracle. Gotta pay for my membership somehow. There you go. Suspect, step forward here, Oracle. My goodness. Thank you, Goldface. Hope you enjoyed the grins. June, who I was talking with last night on our Discord, she said, my favorite Bound for Glory memory is when they made their WrestleMania equivalent a 0-1 house show. This is...
Oh, hold on.
One of the most interesting things in TNA history. It is actually fascinating. So we will talk about that probably at the end because unless I'm misremembering, it does not come up in our top 15
I
list.
remember that.
Yeah. It was Wrestle 1 it was, right? Wrestle 1. It was Muto's promotion.
Yep.
Korakuen Hall. That was because that was after they'd been cancelled by Spike.
Yeah,
so they were
was
just
a
waiting.
fucking disaster.
Yep. It was on tape delay. Yeah.
Velvet Sky Wrestling in Korakuen Hall. A historical text.
Yeah. Let the pigeons loose.
There will be no velvet slander here.
All right, let's dive in. We will start here at 15. We head to 2008, which, Alex, you may recall, if you have the physical media there, you'll have evidence of this, in fact. I think I have it here somewhere. This was the Bound for Glory where they went, we're going to do Roman numerals. Which has always popped me. I don't think they did it ever again. Let me see if I got it here. I have a couple of them here. But yes, that has always popped me.
The real shame of this is this was the one where they had the whole marketing campaign where all the dudes were like fucking gangsters. Yeah.
Which is honestly an incredible piece of business. So this is, I think, often forgotten because the Genesis sequel is incredible.
Oh, here we go, baby.
But Oracle, this is, some of Jeff Jarrett's best stuff of the decade because he gets to actually be a babyface who bleeds. Imagine that.
Yeah. It's this is like Jeff Jarrett as babyface for one is like a way better than his heel, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember when he went to WCW and he I'm talking one of the 5 million times he went there, but when he went during the height of the Nitro era, '96,
Yeah.
he first started as a babyface. He was really good. Like watching all those Nitros, he had a bunch of good matches, good TV matches.
So it's one of those issues where he's a heel personality and a babyface worker, right? It's like the Ziggler rule, you know? Right. Katria and Alex, you may recall a special enforcer for this match. Do you remember who this was?
Mick Foley.
Of course, brother. Who was, I believe, debuting, I want to say.
I believe so. I remember the motion match graphic was, Kurt and Jarrett facing off and then Mick in the middle just banging. I remember Jeff does he attempts an Undertaker suicide dive over the top rope in this match.
Yeah.
WrestleMania, brother. Where legends are made. There you go. Kurt Angle, we've had a million Kurt Angle discussions, and they'll continue on all the Grin Grapplers he comes up in. But in terms of effort, the amount he put into TNA is truly astonishing. Really, he cared way too much. If we're being honest, way too much. And
we talked about
Jarrett
that on
matches are part of that for sure.
The Sting Grin Grappler when we did the Sting Kurt Angle match of Joe, you said it, so I'm stealing the words from your mouth. Kurt Angle wrestled that match like he was in the main event of WrestleMania. Like he wrestled that as though he was in the biggest match of the year. And here, if I remember correctly too, this was Jeff's first match back after his wife passed away.
It's got to be. Didn't he do a brief? I'm trying to think. Yeah, you may be right on that. Because he's not around at all, is he, for that year and change? Yeah.
Because I remember that was if I'm remembering correctly, that was a big part of the broadcast. Was like Jeff's back after all this emotional turmoil.
Yeah,
because he was around the first half of 07, right?
Yes, because he does King of the Mountain and stuff.
Yeah, and then he left in the summer of 07. Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah,
it's a very, very good match. The finish is kind of like gaga and haha because Foley does the claw, and then he does the guitar, and then the stroke and whatnot. But it's a very good match.
It is. I remember Jarrett and Foley being like a constant thing where they had that dynamic. Remember where they would always argue as like authority figures, and Foley's what a strange run Foley had, dude. Like he's the world champion.
What was that show we did last year? I was on the beach. I remember that, and
Slammiversary.
Yeah, because he takes some insane bump when he's old as shit in that match.
Yeah, he does an elbow off the pod.
Yeah.
When they wanted to make Mick the world champion, didn't he tell them no, that's a terrible idea?
I can't. The one thing I remember about that story is that's the match where it's a cage match with Sting, and it's in Foley's book. He talks about how the whole build, he kept talking about, I've got one last stunt in me. Because they had promised him they were going to have a big blue cage so he could plant his feet on the cage.
Yeah.
So he did all these promos and he got to the building and it was just the normal mesh cage. And he was like, what? And they were, we forgot, man. What do you want from us? He's like, I can't do anything. I can't climb this cage like that. Like, I can't dive. So I don't know about the finish, but I know that he had a lot of frustration. And the match is... The Philly crowd did not see that match as big a deal as I think people hoped they would, unfortunately. It was a pretty sad affair, but Mick's whole run is pretty sad, unfortunately, right? It's kind of a blemish on his career.
Hey, Kevin Nash match is awesome, though.
There's some good stuff, don't get me wrong, there's some good stuff. But generally, you would agree, Oracle, right? It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
On that beach trip, Oracle, I took the book I took to the beach with me was that the Way of the Blade. That book. And
hell yeah!
In there, covers said Nash Foley match, and during when I was napping or whatever, my sister picked it up and thumbed through it, and I remember she's just like, "Do you know about this Kevin Nash Mick Foley match they're talking about in here?" So when we got back to the room, I had to pull it up on YouTube and show it to her, and she had never seen Nash Blade before, so she was like, "What the fuck?"
That became his cheat code when he got really old. He just blade and just lie there, just sit there and sell.
The Hunter Hell in a Cell, which is fantastic, yeah, but he just does the real quick poke and twist because like, fuck it, man, I'm not ruining my looks for this shit. But Foley, I think, putting the closing the book on that, you like the promos he did with Flair and a lot of the stuff in TNA. It's so unfortunate because it feels like he really thinks like he's gonna be able to make some art, and it's not. That promo with Flair specifically, where he's punching himself in the face, and it's the start here is kind of, I think this is the use he should have had. This Bound for Glory match we're talking about, this should have been the use in TNA where he was this kind of authority figure that we circled back to every 3 or 4 months instead of like this constant presence on TV.
Yeah, a guy that you shoot an angle with to get him in the ring occasionally, right? Like someone does something to him and he wrestles. Bobby, you said that your extensive research really picked up in 2008. Yes. What was said about 08 here in your deep dive?
Yeah, Dave doesn't mind the first 3, but by 2008 we have TNA seems stuck at a certain level. There's something to the TV format in Orlando that seems stale, and adding big names does not change that, only making them feel secondary when they step into the new world. When TNA was growing on pay-per-view and on television, the key seemed to be that TNA was the unknown place for great wrestling, and that is no longer the case.
When they step into the new world is unbelievable, brother. The new world. What did that mean, I wonder? I mean, he's right, but what did he mean?
Yeah.
What was the new world? The post-Tanahashi IWGP champion world? When they step into the new world, what a beast. All right, that works. Alex, did they make a mistake neglecting the Roman numerals beyond this? Was this an opportunity to really celebrate the history of this great event? What do you think?
Yeah. That's Vince didn't give up on the Roman numerals,
until
29. That's when Vince had one of his.
No.
You're right, Jackie.
That X7 bullshit.
True, but he still numbered them, though.
No, it was kind of like.
Yeah.
It was like he was playing both sides of the fence.
X7.
Well, no, because
WrestleMania 2000.
That one was filth. Yeah, that was filth.
But WrestleMania 30 was WrestleMania XXX. So the Roman numerals went through that, and then in WrestleMania 31, not that there's any similarities between Mr. Burns and Vince McMahon, but I always think of the Mr. Burns line when it comes to Vince of, I've had one of my trademark random changes of thought. And that's Vince. His thing was he got to a point where he's like, now it sounds old if we put the number on it.
That's so interesting though, because it went WrestleMania 15 was the XV, the X on top of the V.
Jackie, real quick before you move forward, do you remember what the subtitle of WrestleMania 15 was?
No.
The Raging Climax.
Russo, bro. Russo. Tremendous. Right, on that note, folks, if you're enjoying this, Bob has some advice for you. Bobby, tell them about it.
Yeah, if you're having a good time, you go ahead and smash that like button. Odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7. Haven't thought of anything new yet. I know I've been off for a month. You'd think I would have taken that time, but we're working on it.
You can't say no to that, folks.
To actually answer your question, Joe, no. It should have always just been Bound for Glory 05, 06, 07, 08, 09.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but
imagine if it was. Imagine they said Bound for Glory 21 on Sunday. Be like, holy fuck, it's a pretty big deal, dude.
When you put it that way, yeah, it's not the same as Bound for Glory IV.
This is a. Is there an event in wrestling history that we can compare to this? They have 20 of them, and it's not an event that's regularly chronicled. How often you see people go in, that's one of the top 10 Bound for Glory matches. You never do that, right?
Even Wrestle Kingdom, the January 4th Dome show has been in existence since
a long time, yeah.
But Wrestle Kingdom.
Wrestle Kingdom is, what, 16, 17? Yeah.
A little more now, I think. Yeah, I reckon it's got to be close to, I think 20... Maybe 20 in 3 months, yeah. At least 20.
Wow.
Okay.
But how often do you see people say, regularly people do that, right? If that's one of the best Wrestle Kingdom matches ever, you never really see that with Bound for Glory.
It is 20 now. Yeah, so Wrestle Kingdom 20 is January 4th.
Yeah.
Here's a humbling one.
I
think was it 23? I have an acquaintance, a friend of mine, who just recently competed in it, so I'm trying to make sure I'm quoting this correctly. It was Tournament of Death 22 in Combat Zone Wrestling.
That is spectacular. Excellent response. All right. In at number 14, we have a little Ulma X action. We have Homicide and Hernandez. LAX taking on Elix Skipper and Senshi, of course, Low Key, in a match that tore the house down in 2007 and is like...
I remember that one.
Yes, and it feels like one of those matches that they didn't... I think they did such a great job of like detailing in history the cage match where Skipper walks the cage. It feels like people don't remember this as much. This match is awesome.
Yeah.
Oracle, I know you're familiar with these years.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big topic at the time, Loki's usage, because he was kind of, I think he was probably not Russo's probably not a big believer, but when he was put in a big spot, he was still tremendous. Skipper, same thing, and LAX is one of the great TNA acts. You remember this one here? This was an opener, I believe.
Oh, yeah. This is, like I said, I bought Bound for Glory 07 many, many years ago now, and have watched it probably 4 or 5 times, maybe more. This is pretty clearly the best match on the show from memory. It's not a match that's talked about enough, I think, because people, the problem with TNA is they always associate the negative, right? So like people like with Bound for Glory 07, they remember, they remember Sting winning the title again, I guess, which is, I guess a positive maybe, depending on your, mileage may vary on that. But in terms of like what a lot of people remember about that show is, isn't it the one with Pac-Man Jones not wrestling?
Yes.
Yep.
That one, people remember about that, and they remember the debut of the women's title and like how bad that battle royal was.
100%, because TNA is
people don't remember. Like honestly, to be honest with you, like when you said that match, that's why I said, "Oh yeah," I was like, "Oh yeah, that match was great," because like I can only remember like the bad.
And by the way,
like,
Oracle, I should know, 2007 will come up again, maybe a time or two in our top 15. By the way, Katrina, Alex, I'm sure you repped this earlier.
What else? Was, I don't even remember.
That is a beauty.
That one I don't have. That's
I pulled rank on him, guys. Look at this.
You did fucking pull rank. The cover's gorgeous too, but yeah, that one
is.
for whatever reason went out of circulation real quick. And I'm really glad Joe you called me out because I was about to mention another match from that show. So
yes, we got some more 2007 ahead. Alex,
I'm stunned.
The Triple X kind of reunion didn't really lead to anything, but this was a hell of a match nonetheless. Memories of this, Alex?
My buddy John, that's my fucking best friend. John loved Triple X, and I can't remember what pay-per-view they reunited at, but he was like losing his fucking mind about it. And it was one of those things that it's so low stakes for how heightened his response was to it. I just remember him fucking going nuts. But Sean Hernandez was a wrestler that should have made a lot more money than he did. He's a fucking dickhead and an asshole, so he kind of brought it on himself. But that dude had it all. Yeah,
he did. Yeah.
Preach.
But that act was also like,
LAX was fucking incredible.
They're an all-time TNA act, I think. Genuinely, they're incredible acts.
Back in their infant days when they had their own entranceway with Conan coming out and like yelling and shit. Yeah, fantastic. I mean, no one on this panel is not gonna not say Homicide wasn't incredible. Elix Skipper, Low Key, and there was something about when Low Key and Homicide got together, where they're tagging together on opposite sides of the ring, that made something special. Yeah, this match is awesome. I don't know if the Ultimate X stipulation is going to come back up. It's one of the more insane match gimmicks that's ever been devised. Like, just the idea of that is, I just recently watched for the first time ever the Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles Ultimate X match, and it's like, how do you expect this to work with this? And I mentioned the first Bound for Glory. The Ultimate X lives in infamy because it's such an unpredictable match the way it's set up that everything got kind of screwed up and they had to redo it and all that. So a fascinating piece of business, the match being, but this, great. And to your point, the crowd is going fucking ballistic. I remember that, like, just the hard cam shot. There's moments in it where people are like, looks like a fucking World Cup game. The way people are jumping up and down, man, it's crazy.
Indeed, I always remember when Homicide would Don West loved him. Some Homicide, didn't he? He would lose his shit for everything he did, and especially the dive, he would lose his mind.
I don't remember what show it is, but there's a show where you couldn't script it any better. Homicide does the tope con hilo, and he hits the guy, and it keeps his body elevated enough to where he lands on his feet on the commentary table, and Don West is literally waiting there to dab him up, and Homicide slaps his hand, and Don West is just like, yeah!
I think I could be wrong on this. I think that may be this match. I think.
Yeah.
Because I remember that I remember that vividly, and that feels like something I would have seen on one of these. I think it was this, but nonetheless, that's actually a good point quickly while we're on this. Whatever anyone thinks of TNA, one thing about them that I genuinely do think we should celebrate, dude, they have the most complete pro wrestling library, in terms of their own archive in all of the industry.
Yeah.
And I seriously appreciate that. A lot of it's available on YouTube too, which is even better. Most of these events are on YouTube. But when you look at where we're trending, I really appreciate that I can get Impact Plus and watch everything they've ever done. That's fucking cool, man. So I definitely don't take that for granted, and it drives me nuts when Kurt Angle says, I hope WWE buy TNA so more people can see the matches.
So they can just own another library they don't do anything with?
Exactly.
How does he... They're all on YouTube, these matches. If they've not watched them yet, it ain't going to change if they're on fucking Netflix playlists. What is he... Oh, drives me nuts every time.
Do you think Kurt actually knows that?
I don't, but I just think maybe shut the fuck up. Anyway.
Fair.
No, you're right, of course. He wants them to buy the company so more people can see his matches. That's the logic of a guy who responds to a murder with, but what about my catalog? Anyway, it's now time to bring the Anthem era of Impact into the picture, and I understand I'll be a one-man army on this, but I actually want to highlight this match because it is fucking awesome. The Impact years here in the early 2020s, I think, are an impressive era in the sense that it's easy to be dismissive of what Scott D'Amore did in that stretch, but he did actually rebuild the perception of the company, even if they weren't a national entity the way they once was. When Scott D'Amore got that job, they were down and out, and he got them to a point of something very respectable, I thought. And I do think that's something that should be commended, and I think they now are able to stand on those kind of triumphs, right?
Stay afloat.
Indeed. We head to 2022 for a main event that got acclaim from those of us that watched it, which unfortunately was not a big number, as they called the number of Eddie Edwards in 2022, and they had him main event against Josh Alexander, and they beat the fuck out of each other. It is one of the more physical matches in TNA's history. It is entirely forgotten and lost to time because Eddie is not a sexy name or a trendy name, right? People don't really talk about Eddie a lot at all anymore. That match is, those guys really care about that TNA brand, and they worked really, really hard in that match. Bobby, I'm intrigued because this is when we were doing the show. Do you remember the Honor No More era of Impact where they had the Ring of Honor guys come over and Eddie led the group?
I do. Now that you bring it up, yes, I do remember that. That was, it kind of felt like there might have been something there. It didn't really amount to anything, but I do remember it.
Mm-hmm. This was the culmination of that, unless I'm mistaken. Eddie was the leader, he turned heel. Okay. Josh Alexander, of course, now in AEW, big effort guy. And I'm not, tell me if I'm wrong, guys, none of you heard a word about this match, right? Not a thing?
Not really.
No, but let me be clear. I'm not saying that to knock you or Eddie
Alexander?
Or Josh. Josh, the wrestling cap guy.
Oh, yeah, he was,
yeah.
He retired 20 years ago.
Yeah. All right. Nonetheless, I bring this up to say, you're going to see as we go through this, there is an era that people remember most about TNA because it dominates the ballots. And it is funny to me that I think in a lot of ways, some of the shows in this Impact era were probably more consistent as wrestling shows, but no one knows. So
it's the bottom, I bet, yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty well-produced shows, those shows. Because obviously... Yes, Alex?
I have a legitimate question about Eddie Edwards here.
I love legitimate questions on this program.
Okay, so I know diehard Eddie Edwards. I know him and Davey trying to be Dynamite and Davey Boy. Like I know like that's, and Eddie, my understanding when he got to TNA and in the decade since or whatever has developed into more of like a brawler. Is that, or is he still trying to do like the All Japan stuff?
So it's complicated. When the thing happened with Sammy Callahan, where he like, remember he had like his orbital bone shattered? Do you guys remember that?
Dude, it was terrifying.
Really scary.
Yeah.
They kind of worked it into like the angle that he changed and he got like this kind of Tommy Dreamer influence, which is always scary. And he will do like plunder matches, but in real matches, he generally wrestles the exact same way he did
also
then.
appears to look more and more like Tommy Dreamer.
Exactly. So like, he still does the All Japan stuff, but he does it in like a tank top and shorts.
Coming out to Alice in Chains, yeah.
There is a really funny story about when Heath got to Impact, because like Heath had been in the WWE system for so long, right? And he worked with Eddie, or he watched Eddie work on the monitor, and he said to, I think, the Good Brothers, he said to them like, man, that Eddie Edwards kid's he's a hell of a worker. And they were like, dude, he's the fucking GHC heavyweight champion.
So
he's 40 years old, you know?
So his stuff he does, like, you know, polarizing would be generous. The era of Ring of Honor that was dominated by him and Davey. Is it like this match with Josh Alexander? Is it like that stuff he did with Davey, or is it more just kind of like walk and brawl type stuff?
No, it's very much like the sort of hard-nosed Davey stuff where they fucking just whack each other over and over and get red chests and the works. You know, it's that kind of thing where they I'm assuming without the self-righteousness of a Davey Richards match. Well, here's the thing. There's probably a little of that, but it is also like the main event of their WrestleMania. So you kind of go, you know. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like Josh Alexander. I definitely think if the Oracle of Wrestling was to watch it, he may be able to pick a hole or two in the psychology. But it is a very physical match. I remember thinking it was a hell of a contest. And I will say, I think it's fitting that Eddie make the list because he has legitimately worked there now for nearly 12 years, which is unbelievable.
I never understood like that era of NXT in the mid 2010s. I literally thought like as all those guys were coming in, I was like, all right, this is Eddie Edwards' moment.
Yeah.
To get something from WWE. And it just never happened.
Yeah, they got a tryout.
Couple tapings, right?
Yeah,
they did, yeah.
I thought the story was Davey blew their shot because he didn't listen to the direction.
There was some lore about that. I do think Eddie was like, I think still is actually a bit of a victim of like, people just see him as mini Davey, which is, that's very insulting because Davey's...
I'm not a big fan of either, but Eddie's always been a better worker than Davey.
Yeah, and
agreed.
Do you remember when we did the Lashley match? Like, Eddie can be like a traditional babyface if he needs to be. He's not just like, I've watched All Japan guy. You know, like the Lashley-Eddie match is fucking awesome. The stuff they did in, 2016, 17, somewhere around there. We did one on Grin Grappler, I know that. But anyway.
Just to close out this chapter, I do remember the Honor No More thing, as you mentioned, specifically because Wilk sent me the clip. He's like, oh my God, where Josh Alexander, like Matt Taven's trying to approach him in the ring. And he's like, when I'm the world champion of places, they thrive. When you're the world champion of places, they go out of business. And I was just like, all right, now we're cooking.
Is at this point, as Eddie Edwards comes up, Bob, that we all play a game. Can you name the 5 members of the system? Go.
Eddie Edwards.
Excellent start.
And I think it's about it.
No way.
His wife.
I don't.
His literal wife.
I don't watch wrestling anymore.
Literal wife.
Okay,
come on.
Jack is correct. Alicia Edwards. Come on, guys. We have 3 dudes to get it. Come on, Alex. You can.
Eddie.
You've got some.
Alicia. Moose,
Kurt Hawkins.
Hawkins.
Oh yeah, I did know.
Come on,
that.
guys. You can't leave him. You can't leave our guy out, man. He's our guy.
Oh, it's Johnny Curtis, Dirty Dango.
Yes, there we go. The fucking horseman, bro. Let's go. All right. Up next, we head to 2011. We discussed earlier regarding Hogan and Sting, a match that I remember being very polarizing at the time for 2 guys who are beloved TNA legends. AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels in an I Quit match, which a lot of people did not fuck with at the time. Contrarian Alex, you are shaking your head in rage, dare I say. Your response to this tells a tale. What do you make of this listing here at number 12? Not a fan.
I didn't enjoy this match. Their Against All Odds 2005 match, I think might be their masterpiece, but the Bound for Glory 2005 Iron Man match is also fantastic. But yeah, this just seemed like trying to, complicate the recipe of Jell-O. Like, it's like, why do you got to fuck this up, man?
I do agree.
Which year?
2011.
I don't even know if I ever saw this. I saw the one where they had the. What year was it where they had like the Destination X match? The
Destination X. Oh yeah. They did
that
Destination
one was really
X,
good.
Yeah.
And then they had another one where they had their last match ever. Whatever was that? 2012 or?
I think
the one right where AJ got hurt.
Claire Lynch era, maybe. Yeah. But this is definitely like to Alex. I agree with Alex on this. I always thought this was them trying too hard to have a different kind of match to what, because they had wrestled too often by this point, right? Like it was just impossible, I think, to make it fresh. And I think the Destination X one that Oracle's talking about is them like, let's redeem this a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's in at number 12 on the list, so clearly it has a fan base. Yeah. Bobby, you have researched this matter extensively. Go.
Yes. Okay, 2011. Dave actually liked this. He said they set it up 6 months back pretty nicely, and they stuck to the plan. The Hogan scenario couldn't have gone better, even though there was concern about having a bad match. Hogan is the master of getting reaction with live crowds, even more now, because he hasn't wrestled a match in 19 months and hasn't had a pay-per-view match since SummerSlam 2006. His one criticism was that the biggest baby faces were bigger baby faces outside of TNA. Which, that feels like a weird nitpick, I'm not going to lie. He's like, Hogan was made in WWF, Flair, Samoa Joe was made in Ring of Honor, Austin Aries, Rob Van Dam.
Come on.
Yeah, it's like,
he got that in. That's outstanding.
Come on. I mean, obviously, like, Joe is a Ring of Honor guy, but, like, the TNA fans wasn't cheering him because he was a Ring of Honor guy. Come on, that's stupid.
That was harsh.
That was harsh. But, I mean, you like the show more than I remember liking it, so it's got to be worth something. So, yeah, we're not big on this one, it seems, but... Alex, did you have the physical media for this one?
This is 2011. No, by this point,
you're not. You can't be ready for. I mean, look at this.
Oh, it's got the Declaration of Independence on it.
It says "We the People" at the top, guys. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. This also pops me. TNA Bound for Glory, featuring the stars of Impact Wrestling. Because we haven't discussed that. That's that era. This is that weird era where they have both names. It's very strange. Yep. Very strange.
Yeah, this is already when they're relegated just online. Did you buy that online, or did you find that at like a resale store?
I have no idea, but it was on my shelf. I was quite excited.
Nice.
Samoa Joe wrestled Crimson and Matt Morgan. False.
Well, Matt Morgan, that 15-year can't-miss prospect.
Yeah, him and Swagger. One of them are going to figure it out any day now. It does feel, to be fair to Dave's prior point, this does feel like it tells the tale, those three names at the front of the DVD. I got to be honest, It does feel like it tells the tale in its own way. All right. We weren't too bullish on that one, but, AJ Styles was inevitably going to appear, and AJ and Daniel, spoiler alert, they will come back up here shortly. In at 11, another somewhat forgotten TNA era, but this match is definitely not forgotten. This act is very much not forgotten. They're in the marquee match this Sunday, the Hardys, in at 11, with their Great War cinematic production opposite Decay. Now, I'm not big on the broken universe thing, and, whatever. However, we do have to be real, because we all experienced this. The amount of buzz they generated around this universe they built within TNA at the time was sincerely impressive, because no one was paying any attention to TNA, right? It was a big deal at the time.
This is that match is the reason I found a stream of this show.
I mean, that's saying something, right? Genuinely.
I like when Matt Hardy started that stuff. Like, it was genius. It was like I'll say it. Like, it was genius at the time.
Yeah, because it was different at the time. Yeah,
it is unfathomable in 2015 that in what year was this, Joe?
This was 2016. So yeah.
Which led into this is why wrestling sucks, because it's not like it can't end.
Yeah.
Like, if the Hardy Boys presence in wrestling ended at WrestleMania 33 in 2017, they would be regarded as the greatest act in the history of professional wrestling. Like with the way they came back and
still
did all
got it,
that.
though, bro. They still got
They
it.
they absolutely do. You know, that's one of the things.
Yeah, like I don't know if you guys saw it. They won another tag team title tonight.
Well, Joe and I were very sobered by how over they were in Las Vegas this year for WrestleMania. But the whole point being like cinematically,
fairy tale ending. Yeah.
Fairy tale ending. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
now I fear they're doing a belt collector gimmick with the Hardys,
which does feel like a mistake. But,
Ultimo Hardys.
Because now it's 4.
That is alarming. Yes, that is alarming. I concede on that. But I mean, they are now like an important TNA act. Go for it, Alex.
No, I'm just to finish to Joe's point. To like TNA had nothing at this point in time. And that's not to say they didn't have talented wrestlers like that were underemployed or whatnot. But when this shit started, it immediately was like everyone was kind of like doing this shit of like, well, what's going on over there? That seems kind of different and interesting. And you know, don't tell them this because it'll boost their egos 30 sizes. But like, look at what people do for promos to catch attention now. It was all like, it all kind of is trickled down from this whole Broken Hardys universe shit.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if you are someone who respects the entire history of TNA, with each passing week, the Hardys become a bigger part of that story, right? They're the lead draw for that promotion now, and they're doing good business. Whatever you think of it, they're doing good business. They are the marquee match on Sunday, for better or worse. Whether that will end well is a different question altogether. But they're doing their thing, and this was the Pop TV era, I believe. And I think there's some lore that, like, this interest, these pay-per-view buyers for these matches, kept the company going. Dude. This was, financially, this may have been their lowest ebb. 2016, this range. Bobby, what have you got on this year? I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so it actually starts the recap of the show with who funded the Bound for Glory pay-per-view and tapings this week. Billy Corgan did media interviews, and he's hoping to buy the company, but they wouldn't really say where the money came from. And yeah, Dave's got this whole mystery about, like, no one knows where the money came from. They didn't address it with the talent or anything. Talent's waiting on paychecks. So things aren't going well right now for them. Talent that was late being paid was told when payments are late, it's because the company's waiting for money that they're owed. It's a different excuse every time. So they're not doing well right now.
I forgot about the where's the money era.
This promotion has been such a treasure, man. It really has.
Yeah, so as of Bound for Glory 2016, they're only scheduled to tape through the end of November. So
is this
how many times?
Like, yes, go over it. Sorry.
How many times there was this is supposed to be the last TNA show?
Yeah.
Like that.
So many,
dude. Yeah. It's so beautiful. They're the cockroach you step on, and then you come back out to the kitchen and they're gone. It's like, oh fuck, where'd that go?
Is this the era where Corgan? It's definitely the era, but is this the time where Corgan gets like worked into thinking he owns the company and he doesn't? Is this that era where he pays it for it and then they just sell it to someone else or something?
It's so awesome. It's so great.
Do you remember that? They're like he thought he owned the company and he didn't. Good God Almighty, that is
disarm me with a smile instead of company from under me.
Y'all remember they got Billy Corgan to induct Earl Hebner into the Hall of Fame?
Oracle, anything on the Great War, brother?
So this is the only one of the Hardys meme matches I never saw.
Awesome. There was a few because they have one against each other. The final deletion, I think.
I saw the Tournament of Death, whatever the hell it was. I can't remember what the hell they called that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was the one that they did on Raw that popped a rating and Vince got really concerned about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But this did launch this did launch the last decade of their careers, right? Because like this is the act that gets them hot again. Yeah. Fascinating times. We're into the top 10, boys. Here we go. In at 10, 2009. We watched this on the air in a flagship program. The main event, a match that I do not. It happens when you have so much physical media to choose from, indeed. A match that I do not hold in nearly as high regard as our audience seems to.
The main
AJ Styles
event?
and Sting.
Really?
I've never
Samoa
really got it
Joe?
with that one. Yeah, Oracle, does this surprise you too?
The match is okay. I think maybe it's because AJ is so beloved and like he was the one who finally got to beat Sting at Bound for Glory.
I think so.
I don't know because the match is not
Finally,
that
after 3 years.
But it's not. It's kind of a flat finish. Remember, it kind of just ends.
Yeah, it just ends. Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it?
Does
Surprising.
Joe? Does this year come back up?
It does. Yes, 2009 does come back up. Yes,
All
in fact, we'll be staying with 2009 for our next pick. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's the Booker T performance where he knows he's leaving, so he comes out and
God, I wish.
walks and brawls and then fakes a knee injury.
I will say this: we were talking when we watched this together on the air. We all agreed the match was going really nicely, but then it just ends.
Yeah.
Because Sting does work really hard in the match, and you can tell he wants to have a great match with AJ, but it just doesn't have much like oomph. The finish just kind of happens and it's over. It's,
Fine.
yeah, it's a weird one. There will be more Sting talk. We should know.
Yeah, I
This
think
promotion was the one where it has like the final curtain. Remember that? Sting was supposed to retire.
2009.
What a
I
legend.
yeah, I feel I'll have at least one match that I think should have made it over that by the time we get to the end of this.
Yeah. We'll let it play out. Bobby, anything on 09? We're going to stick in 09 here, so anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, so 09 is when Dave first started having problems with Bound for Glory. The problem with Bound for Glory, kind of like we addressed earlier, the problem with Bound for Glory is that TNA apparently at random took a show and decided sometime back that this is going to be their biggest event of the year. It wasn't the anniversary of the first pay-per-view they did. It wasn't the December show, so it could be their year-end Starrcade event. It's a show that took place in October. Historically, it's not even their biggest show of the year, as that has been locked down for several years running. The show itself didn't help matters much. It wasn't a bad show. It was just about what you get every month for TNA. There were some bad matches, average matches, good matches, and unlike in years past, there wasn't anything approaching a blow-away great match.
You know, we hadn't discussed the era where Lockdown was the one that actually drew pay-per-view buyers because people wanted to see the cage matches.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
Yeah.
because Lockdown doesn't even exist anymore as a pay-per-view. I think
Yeah.
it's a TV special it did during like the Pop and Destination.
Yeah, I think it's just gone now. I think.
I don't even think it's a thing anymore.
No, it is. And I remember at the time as a fan, I loved that concept of just everything is in a cage.
It's different, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lockdown 2013 was their highest attended domestic event until something that happened in the past year.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I do love Dave just like beefing with October. That popped me. It's merely in October.
That's great.
Like I said, that's the problem with it, you know. Let's stick with 09. I believe the opener is where we're headed for number 9. The Ultimate X match.
What?
Amazing Red, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Christopher Daniels, Homicide, Suicide. This is the match where Christopher Daniels legitimately almost dies.
Oh, dude, it's terrifying.
Like sincerely almost dies. Where they do the flip spot and he just comes down in like a straight line. He recently told the story that I believe he told this on Chris Van Vliet that Joe like yelled at him afterwards and was like, "Never do that bullshit again, dude. What the fuck?" Was like really mad at him because he died on TNA pay-per-view. By this point, Joe had realized it wasn't worth it. He'd learned that lesson the year before. More on that to come. But anyway, Alex, you seem surprised. Where did you want to go here in 09? Where are you looking?
Are we done with 09?
I mean, I'm scanning my extensive notes. It appears we're done with 09. What are you thinking?
Kurt Angle and Matt Morgan's better than either of these matches that we've talked about.
I don't disagree, but you have to, like, not many people have chronicled the Matt Morgan match in their head. You have to accept that, you know?
I remember when we did the grin along for that, you and me got really excited when that match came up and trying to explain why it's like this massive Kurt Angle accomplishment. But, so yeah, that's surprising. But yeah, this is, I'm reading the back of the DVD right now. It's Amazing Red with Don West. That's when Don West was his promoter.
Yeah.
The promoter.
Christopher Daniels, Homicide, Suicide, who at that point I believe was Kazarian, Chris Sabin, and Alex Shelley. The Ultimate X match is insane. I mean, one of them, the Final Resolution 05, I think is like a god tier professional wrestling match, but all the other ones reach up to this level of just like insanity and danger. Because this is at the point too, if I remember correctly, when they were building the truss instead of just doing like the cables across the ring. Yeah. So I think there's there's a part in the match where they're like on top of the truss and stuff, and it just gets fucking nutty.
If we go with the idea that this is WrestleMania, Oracle, this is kind of their like, because this is when the Money in the Bank was on WrestleMania every year, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of what this was, right?
Yeah. So this is the last Bound for Glory that I ever saw the entirety of. Because during COVID, I watched every 2009 TNA. I watched every 2009 pay-per-view, TNA and the Fed. Just because I was bored, and but
I remember
we crazy from memory. I just remember it having like a bunch of like crazy spots, Get out of a match like this. I don't like remember any detail. I just remember it having like a pretty hot crowd and like just kind of like wacky shit.
Yeah, crazy shit. We were watching Slammiversary 09 and you were there, I think, Oracle, and Oracle just in the midst of us watching the Dudleys matches, like, I watched every 09 TNA pay-per-view. Dudley's had some good ones, and I was just like, this guy is different, dude. Like, this is a different level of fucking hooper, Like, how often in your life does someone say to you, I actually just watched all of the 09 pay-per-views of TNA? It's like, yeah, man, of course you did. That makes sense. Sounds right. Yeah, it's a crazy match. Christopher Daniels surviving this and wrestling for another 16 years is hilarious, but entirely unsurprising. These guys, as is kind of a big part of TNA's history, they failed to learn from the lessons of the WCW Cruiserweight division in that regard, where like there was always a clear ceiling above these guys' heads, right? Like always. And they always worked so hard. They always worked so hard. It feels fitting they get some love here. A little bit of a bittersweet one up next. I just mentioned the famed Samoa Joe bump. 2008, Samoa Joe and Sting. The finish to this match is repulsive. It really is. It's horrific.
Cover.
But I do think this match is fucking awesome, to be fair. And I've never seen it. I've only
ever seen the clip of the finish.
I genuinely think it's worth a look because I always got the vibe that Joe like wanted to kind of make a statement that night of like, you can beat me and you can have Kevin Nash be the finish, but I will make it very apparent to you that I'm the best guy here. And he's awesome in that match, Alex. And Sting's always game, right? Always game.
Yeah, there's on the DVD, the physical media, one of the bonus features is like this post-match interview where Jeremy Borash and Sting, and like you can see it on old Steve Borden's face. He's like wearing the match on him because Joe has his match with Sting up until that finish and wears him out. Like this is the shit I live for. There's a spot in that where Sting goes for the Stinger Splash and Joe catches him and does the ST Joe in the corner, and like that is like that type of stuff where you combine two guys like signatures into a counter and whatnot. I live for that shit. And you're exactly right, Joe. Samoa Joe went out there and wanted to prove that he was like it. And the finish is like Nash is supposed to have his back and then turns on Joe, right? Like he double crosses Joe. Yeah. And I would agree with everything that Mr. Holbert said. It's up until that point, I think, a great match. It's unfortunate that everyone knows it for just the big spot where Joe does the drop kick from the fucking suite or whatever. And the hilarity of that is like there's been all the rumor and innuendo of how it changed his career, and then like the story about how he said it didn't change his career. And
well, look, wrestlers lie. One thing is undeniable. There's like a part of the law that he got seriously hurt, and he worked like the next day. Like he worked consistently after that and appeared fine physically. I think he stopped having good matches because they had him fucking wrestling terrible guys with face paint on and sweatpants.
There's something very valid to saying also that it sounds so sophomoric, but like he probably got his feelings hurt by how this like happened and played out, man.
I would agree. Like this is October 2008. He leaves in January 2015 or February 2015. This is the last night he is TNA World Champion. He never gets that belt back.
It's ridiculous.
He barely flirts with it, actually.
He spent 3 years clearly being the guy, even after they messed it up with Angle.
Yeah.
He was still the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this was it. This was the last night he was the guy, you know?
It's insane, dude. Like, I always say it, and I know I've said it a million times to you guys, it's boring, but like, it really does annoy me that people focus so much on, I can't believe Vince didn't put the belt on him, and it's like, I'm not trying to defend Vince, because I have no interest in that. He was used consistently in WWE as like a featured guy. The last 6 years of his TNA run is genuinely just a waste of time. Like, he does nothing really in those years. Like, at least in WWE he was working with Roman and Brock, you know? Like, fuck, at least it's a top guy. He's just like he goes back to the X Division in 2009. Like...
Dude, yeah, we've talked about this recently. Like, just the whole idea of him right now is that the whole idea of Samoa Joe is he's a guy that takes him. He is so serious that you can heat him up at any point in time. TNA is the only wrestling promotion that squandered the image of Samoa Joe. I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. But going back, if you haven't seen the match, yes, it's apparent when Joe does this drop kick onto the concrete that he's in unfathomable pain.
Yes, it definitely hurt, 100%.
Yeah, good match. You should check it out. I think it's underrated because people only remember kind of how it concludes. And I would say until Night of Champions 2015, that was the best Sting match. So we're talking like, what's that, 6 years or so?
Yeah, so like in that time frame, you mean? Because to be clear, the best Sting match. Yeah,
Oh, sorry. The best Sting match of like that. Yeah, that run. Yeah.
Because Sting would always have, Oracle and I have talked about this. He would always have like smart matches, and he would always work hard. But he didn't really have like barn burners, really, did he? Like that wasn't really what he did.
There was always a ceiling to everything. It was like 3-star ceiling for pretty much everything.
Yeah, exactly. Folks, we hope we have surpassed 3 stars tonight. We've had a great time. Bobby, if people are having a great time, what can they do to show us that?
Yeah, you go and smash that like button the second time. So if you did it the first time, you're going to have to do it at least one more time. But if you didn't do it the first time, you're good. So keep that in mind.
Indeed. This show was in Chicago, I believe, Bobby. Would you have made the trip for this if it happened tomorrow? If we could time machine current Bob to 2008, would you have been there?
To see Joe and Sting in the Sears Center's not far from here, yeah. So I probably would. It's not like it's downtown. I mean, it's about 20 minutes on the highway from here. So yeah, why not?
And that's an important point, actually, as we approach the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame. Bob O'Neill has bought a ticket for Wrestle Dream to see Samoa Joe versus Hangman. We need to get this information to the Observer subscribers. The ballots are coming in as we speak. Samoa Joe's case. Nothing can strengthen it more than Bob O'Neill.
I have someone who I know and I've known my whole life who gets emailed an Observer ballot every year, and we went through that just recently, actually.
Have you told him about Bob? Got to Wrestle Dream? You need to clue him in on that.
I need to...
It's the Sears Center where this was. That's where All In was, right? The first All In? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. All right, we're sticking with Sting. We're sticking with main events. We are going back a year, 2007. Yeah. Grin Grappler Law, Kurt Angle and Sting. We discussed this at length on Grin Grappler, but Oracle, this is a really funny one. It's an awesome match, but it's really funny because
this match.
Yeah,
and I like doing Grin Grappler. I don't think this is better than the opening tag match.
I don't either, but I think this is people remember this fondly because of Kurt.
The most memorable part is the bat, which is
funny.
Yeah,
but Kurt is just a man possessed in this, so I think people remember it fondly, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think this match is super fun. I think it's like, it seems awfully high. What is this, number 8, 9? What is this?
This is number 7.
Wow, that's high.
It is high.
And then the third match from the show that's going to make it is one I have no memory of.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though? I remember their matches, but I don't know which one it was that I saw. The one I saw was really good, so maybe it was, but I honestly can't remember. I've seen a couple of their matches, but I don't know. I just
fascinating stuff.
Them. Sorry, I know I'm jumping around here.
No, you're fine.
I'm stunned because Granted, I haven't seen Bound for Glory 07 in probably like 12 years, but I did watch it like 5 times over the course of like 5 or 6 years. But this match in particular is super fun, and I obviously have my most recent memories of this one because of the grappler. And
indeed,
and yes, it is a very fun match, and I have no problem with it being in the top 15. I just think it's a little too high.
Bobby, what do you think? You saw this with the grappler with us. It's a good time, right? You surprised it's this high or not?
I'm a little bit surprised. I think it's a lot of fun, but yeah, I mean, 7 that's high. Yeah, that's interesting.
It is indeed the famed baseball bat moment where poor Sting gets just hit straight in the face with a baseball bat.
Well, the problem is he does like he like puts his hand up late almost.
I guess. I mean, I think to be fair, I think Kurt had exhausted him by that point, right? I think he was.
Yeah. Kurt at that point was what, like 47 or 48? He's like,
Yeah.
Oh, think about it this way: Sting in Bound for Glory 2007 is like the same age AJ Styles is now.
Yeah, that's very disconcerting. That's alarming. It's scary. That's what it is. It's scary.
It is scary, isn't it?
No question, it is scary, but it does tell you. I think it speaks to how much Sting's legacy has kind of multiplied with the AEW run, in the sense that all three. Oh, yeah. Well, actually, no, I take that back, because there's one that does not make the cut, the first one, but the 07, 08, 09 main events all made the top 10, which is like fascinating, really, because I think 2 of them are a little bit overstated, but people just. I think Sting has really become so much more celebrated now than he was when he was having these matches, ironically, right? Where I think he was a lot more divisive. Alex, anything to add when it comes to 07? I know we've discussed it before, and you mentioned it even earlier on this show, right? Anything you want to add?
It's really funny when Angle swings the bat too quick and Sting doesn't catch it and hits him in the face. Yeah, I think I remember my review of the match on Grin Grappler being similar. It's an okay match. It's more of a really fucking fascinating Kurt Angle performance. And, it is. I think it's what I would say is that the way in which Tony Khan rehabbed the image of Sting is amongst the greater things he's done as a booker, because it's not like people didn't like Sting or people had like any animosity in like a Kevin Nash type of way of like Sting won't do jobs or anything like that. But I think with the run Sting had in AEW, it's really created this narrative that he was this brilliant worker of knowing like what he was capable of, whereas back in 2007 he was really trying to have like 20-minute like main event matches that might have been out of his depth at that point. And I don't know how well these matches age. I personally I prefer the match we just discussed, the Joe match, to this one, but
so do I.
But this is a fascinating Kurt Angle performance.
He's insane in this. Ibu talks about it all the time. Like in the late 2000s, if you said to a smart fan, like a hardcore online fan, that you thought Sting was better than Taker, they'd think you were insane. And now, people are like, dude, if you even imply that you've got Taker close to Sting, people are like, get the fuck out of here. No way. It's like, it's fascinating, right? Like and obviously there's surrounding factors with that, but it still is, that's the truth, right? Like if you was, in 2008, if you said you thought Sting was better, I think people would have been really mad. But yeah, Kurt is. If
you said that today,
insane.
Mark Calloway would be really mad.
He's always mad. He has to work every waking hour to maintain his TKO money. He's very mad all the time. All right, number 6, the aforementioned 2005 Iron Man match with AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. I don't think it's their definitive match, but I think it is a very fitting number 6. Oracle, would you agree? This is a strong one.
I'm sorry, Joe. Or is it,
no, you're good. The other one? This goes overtime, I believe, Alex, right? Yeah. This is an overtime.
No, this one doesn't. The overtime is against all odds.
Okay.
Against all odds. Yeah. There you go.
The against all odds ones is better, but this one's also very, very good.
Correct. Yes, this is not their strongest thing, but I think it is a fitting number 6. It's very, very good. We've talked a lot, Alex, about 2005 AJ Styles. We did a draft recently. We got to discuss it. He was a force of nature at this time, right? My goodness.
Yeah. and this is the showcase, right? And this is supposed to be a WrestleMania, and AJ Styles is a centerpiece attraction of your promotion, and put him with Christopher Daniels. One of the things I remember is fucking old man Daniels. He got it in his head at some point that he should have been wearing a priest collar, but it was detached from all his gear, so he just looked like a stripper. Like he had this thing like on his neck, and it looked awful. Like yeah. I remember from there they did a Ring of Honor had that straight shooting series, and they talked about this match in it, and they both talk about like it wasn't like intentional, but they got like 20 minutes into the match and they both realized how much they were beating the shit out of each other in this match because they're laying like everything in that they're doing. And yeah, if I remember correctly, the finish of this is like right up to the wire. It's like a 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 ding ding.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with Oracle. The Against All Odds one that ends with Daniels has AJ in the Koji clutch and the blood squirting out of his head, and then they go to overtime. Right. I prefer that one, but this is great. Again, for the WWE is still meticulously fucking with AEW, but for those who remember, this match was announced, and so WWE, to counter program it, did the Iron Man match with Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels, because they didn't view TNA as competition at all at that point in time. Remember?
I didn't know that. Wow.
The homecoming match was done in response to this. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Christopher Daniels, if we were doing an all-time TNA list, purely work in TNA, does he crack the top 10? I reckon he slides in there. I do. I think he does.
I think he's like number 10. I think and that's not like, that's more of me understanding how good some guys were in TNA as opposed to like Christopher Daniels not being good. He he has to be in the top 10. He's in the greatest TNA match of all time.
I think he's in the top 10.
Yeah, with Joe. I mean, and the thing is, like, he's almost everybody as good as AJ and Joe in that feud in 05 and 06.
He's great. So. Yeah, he's tremendous in that. That's something I do want to do with this format, where we have like the Grinners give their list and we see what our kind of LNG consensus is. The idea of saying to the Grinners, who are your top 5 wrestlers in TNA history, and we have a definitive list, that'd be fun, right? And we could work through the list and see what the results are. That intrigues me very, very much. So that's something to look for. We could do it obviously with Ring of Honor, ECW, WCW, whatever. All right, boys. Your face is going to tell a tale in a moment, but this next match does belong, even if the Oracle of Wrestling's reaction to it could be quite colourful. In at 5. From 2023.
Oh, no. Fuck off.
Oh, no.
Will Ospreay stops through as a guest of TNA to wrestle one of the Oracle of Wrestling's favourites, one of the purest strikers in our sport, Speedball Mike Bailey. It happened, folks. Top 5. Okay, so... So when I saw this, I wish I was recording myself when I was putting this together, because I just was grinning from ear to ear, like just so excited to get to this point. I couldn't wait. The match is really fucking cool. It's an awesome match, but it's just so funny, dude. It's just the idea of Alex being on a show where he gets told that top 5 Speedball has happened, you know? Goldface said Alex just smashed the dislike button. Bobby, do you remember how excited people were as Dave went full 5 on this, bro? Remember?
Yeah, I didn't he go 5+? I think he went like 5.5, didn't he?
Anything's possible.
Yeah, you know, there's definitely an audience for it.
It really is a great crowd pleaser, guys. It is a crowd pleaser. This what I actually do want to talk about with this, and then we'll move on because I don't want to, but I really like the match. This is that interesting pocket of time where Will Ospreay's free agency is a big topic of discussion. And there was that like brief window where people were going, maybe he just wants to be in TNA, which was
I forgot about that.
This is pivotal. This is October. This overlapped with an even funnier window of time as free agent CM Punk attended a TNA taping. And so there is an episode of WrestlePurists Worldwide in which we launch a bit that CM Punk and Will Ospreay are going to be some sort of 1-2 punch in the TNA Revolution. I want to say, Bob, this was the show where they announced the return of the TNA name, I want to say.
Yeah.
Because it comes back in the start of 2024, right?
Yep. You're correct.
My goodness. That was an emotional night for you, Alex. I remember that.
Oh, yeah? Sorry. I know that was like all like for naught, but I had to make like a statement of some sort, so I had to leave.
You did,
there. Yeah.
You're actually, we should note, like, obviously Speedball is not your favorite guy, but you actually are probably a lot more favorable to Ospreay than people would presume, I think.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. He more often than not has matches I don't like, but when he's on to what I perceive to be good, he's quite fantastic. But yeah. Speedball Bailey, come on, man. His heart pumps Kool-Aid. Yeah.
Top five. All right.
Who are we to argue with the LNG universe, you know?
And Dave, bro. That's a fucking insane combination. The Dave LNG crossover is just extensive.
I heard figure out what Bob said, but it killed me. He's like, well, you know, it has an audience.
Yeah. Roger Ebert talking about a slasher.
Yeah. From the geniuses at Paramount comes the final nightmare.
All right, in at 4, this was my personal 1 seed. Even though I don't think it's their best match, I love this match. 2007, Christian Cage, Samoa Joe.
I don't know, man.
I love this match.
Did we watch this for Grappler?
We watched the Destination X
match, which is better.
It's superior, but
that's
the Bound for Glory match is really good. Yeah.
I don't remember this one. I remember a couple of them being really good, so maybe this is the other one.
It's really good.
I can't differentiate. Like
go for it, Alex.
The big thing about this match is where it's Joe finally beats him. That's the whole thing. Is like,
okay.
Yes,
Christian figures out all these shenanigans, like roll ups, holding the ropes, all that.
This is the
shit.
end of the rivalry.
Yeah. Joe finally gets him in the ring in the fucking the Koji clutch, and he taps out to it, or Kakina clutch. Excuse me.
I've seen. Yeah, I mean,
isn't this the first time?
I remember the finish.
This is where Christian loses for the first time.
Yes.
I remember liking all of their matches. I'll say that from TNA. I remember liking all their matches. I couldn't.
Man, what a fucking waste! Like Christian's TNA run is so fucking phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
And they just squander the last year of it, and like he ends up kind of disenchanted by the whole that he like went there in the first place. That I think he and especially fans don't recall how fucking fantastic his run is there, and
he had good feuds with everybody, man. The Abyss feud's awesome. Like,
the
Kaz match the next month at Genesis 07 is fucking great. Who the fuck has a match that good with Frankie Kazarian? No one.
No one. Not even Father Time. But this is great shit. And this especially was like, I remember this match specifically being paramount for Joe at the time because people thought he had regressed since losing to Angle, and maybe didn't still have it the way he did before, that type of shit. And this match is fantastic. Now I'm in the same cart on the fucking train tracks with some of the voters here.
Yeah, so I think this is a really underrated dynamic, really underrated rivalry. I always thought if this really is WrestleMania, it's so Christian that he actually had like a WrestleMania thing on the undercard where it was an actual story paid off and they had like an adult wrestling match, like actual WrestleMania shit from Christian Cage, because of course.
And this is also before it get the whole dynamic of like making Matt Morgan a big deal gets out of control. He's the enforcer on this. So like the Christian Coalition can't interfere and all that. And so the wheels were already coming off, but this is an example of just what you're saying, Joe. If Bound for Glory is their WrestleMania, this is with both the players involved and the enforcer. This is like a WrestleMania style match. And so I hold this match in very high regard, if you can't tell.
Absolutely. These two men shared the ring on national television in 2025. Make of that what you will. Wrestling is very strange now. Top 3 time. Before we get to the top 3, Bobby, let's put this for a third time to the bit what they can do if they're enjoying the video.
Yeah, if you're having a good time, you go ahead and smash that like button. It's your third time.
You're just sort of now switching sides that the paper's on just to make it clear you have papers at this point. It's
do you know what Bob just did? He's like, it's like he works at a radio station. And the guy's like, and the guy's coming over to Bob.
Ad
goes,
read.
yeah, you guys can hit that like button. It's like they've been there for been there all damn afternoon. Rush hour traffic's over.
Hey guys, this is Bobby O'Neill. If you're having a good time, stuck in traffic, smash that like button. We'll be right back.
I am intrigued. What's our guess for number 1? Just gut feeling. I have it in front of me. It's a gut feeling for you guys. We've got 3 spots left. Monsters Ball?
Well, the first 4 in Monsters Ball, because the first one was in 2004.
I think so.
Okay.
Or 03, whatever the fuck it was.
Okay, couple guesses, Monsters Ball. Alex, what you got?
AJ and Bully Ray is really good.
You're amazingly doing the radio voice appears to have changed your volume, which is fucking hilarious.
Oh no, I fucked it up. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just low, but yes. Okay. There you go. That was definitely loud.
All right. AJ and Bully Ray is really good, so I wouldn't be surprised if that slid into that spot.
There you go. You're back. All right. That was very funny. Oracle's reaction as you violently manhandled your microphone.
Can you imagine people listening just to the audio of this, talking about Oracle reacting to me manhandling my microphone?
Yeah. Well, look, part of the business. Number 3. Monsters Ball.
Oh.
Abyss, Jeff Hardy, Rhino, Sabu, an absolute hoot and a half. Crazy match, wild match, featuring some insane Jeff Hardy happenings. Sabu just months removed. Wait a second, Sabu and Rhino months removed from One Night Stand, right? Which is something we talked about on the Grin, on the Sabu show, the Grin Grappler. And Abyss, as Bobby, you said, Monsters Ball, a big memory. Number 3, a little surprised by that, Bobby, I presume?
A little bit. I'm glad it's in the top 3. I think that's a really good spot for it. But yeah, I thought it could be 2 or 1. I actually have no idea what's gonna be above it now, so that's good. But yeah, this match rules. Alex talked about it quite a bit earlier. And for me personally, it's 3 of my favorite wrestlers in Jeff Hardy, so it's a good time.
That was crazy.
And Jeff Hardy.
That was crazy. That was crazy. Oracle, you also thought this would be the 1 seed. It's a hell of a match. Are you surprised to see it here get the bronze medal?
I'm just happy it made the top 3 like Bobby. I mean, this match is I'll never forget watching this at my uncle's and losing our fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
At it's one of those matches where you just it's one of those matches that's so good and so fun in the moment. You remember where you were when you watched it, type deal, and we're just losing our mind, with a stage spot or whatever, and all. I mean, just I don't know, man. That's one of my 5 or 6 favorite TNA matches ever. It might not be a top 5, ever, but it's one of my favorites ever from the peak period of TNA.
And considering it's the first Bound for Glory, Alex, a really important match in whatever prestige this event would have coming out the gate. I think a lot of it had to be about this, considering how the main event stuff happened, right? So, an important match, Alex. Memories of this one?
Absolutely. I mentioned at the jump of this that this is a match I remember in my dorm room refreshing the forums and trying to get caught up on. And I don't even know if this was a match that got ripped and uploaded. I might have had to wait to get the DVD to see it. But whatever the case, there's a part in it too where, because everything that's happening is so good, the dudes start getting more amped up and the crowd's reacting more. And there's a part where Rhino just starts wearing dudes out with the kendo stick. It just, in a way of, you can see all of them being fuck, stop, but he's so fucking amped up. And yeah, Jeff Hardy in this match he said it. I saw the clip that went around with fucking, the career revivist dude, that he said the scariest jump he's ever done in his entire career, which when you're talking about Jeff Hardy, that encapsulates a lot of ground, was this in this match where he goes up to the top of the stage and jumps off on Abyss. And like, if you've seen that, that is a testament to what adrenaline can do for you, because he essentially jumps 30 feet, lands on his ass on concrete, and then gets up to walk into the ring and finish a match. And it takes a pile driver off the second rope to finish it.
Jesus, I forgot. Jesus, that finish.
Yeah. It's terrifying. Yeah. A fantastic match. It's with the 4 dudes involved. Like, it somehow isn't just this plunder bullshit. Like, it's a really, really good match. And this is from our Sabu Grin Grappler. We talk about at this point in time where he shows that he still has a lot of gas left in the tank. Yeah, absolutely. This is a top 3 Bound for Glory match. This is a top 10 TNA match. I said it. I tweeted it once, and Conrad Thompson retweeted it, so you know it's true. I think you could honestly make the case that this is the best match of either of those 4 dudes' careers.
Wow. Conrad Thompson retweet. Oh, baby. All right. In it too. 2006 cage match. LAX back in the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Daniels and AJ back in the picture.
That match
One
rules
that I
too.
think could slip your guys' mind, which is an unbelievable
Every
match.
one of the matches are fucking great, man.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, they are. I love this match. This is early in the LAX run. This is the feud that like establishes them, right, and makes them. It's bloody. There's a fork in there at one point because, of course, I remember LAX's entrance being so cool outside of the Impact Zone, where Homicide's like hanging on the side of the cage while the music plays. This is a happening, Bobby. I remember we watched this on like a 2021 Grin when Dynamite wasn't on Wednesday, and we did a show on a Wednesday, and we watched this as our main event. This match is awesome, right? This is one that I think probably slipped your guys' mind, but it's tremendous.
It is, yeah. And like Oracle said, all their matches were great, but this one I think really stands out. And yeah, I can't believe I forgot about it, honestly, because yeah, this match rules.
It's a worthy number 2, I think. Alex, do you agree?
I'm at this point, I'm really curious what number 1's going to be, but yeah, it's great. I love when Hernandez gets on top of the cage and he realizes it's higher than he thought it was going to be. He's like, fuck. And he has to, dude, but yeah, this feud, Oracle called it out. They have the 3 matches. All 3 are fucking fantastic. This one was great because in like a classic pro wrestling sense, it was the big show. So you just assume the baby faces were going to win, and the heels just outsmarted them and kicked their ass and won the match. And it makes it, and then of course AJ, being AJ, lands on his fucking head for the finish and whatnot.
Yeah,
but yeah, this is fantastic. This is like the match because I'm sorry, I'm going off topic here, but like Jarrett and Sting, everyone knew that was going to be, but this was the match because it was the co-main event of the evening. This is what sent everyone home with like the idea that like an alternative is here for wrestling. So yeah, absolutely worthy of being in the top 3 and worthy of a mention.
Oracle, it feels like this rivalry that you just celebrated a moment ago should be celebrated way more, because this is not an era of great tag team rivalries in the States, to be quite frank. It feels like no one talks about what these 2 teams did with each other for that small window, those few months. This was some old school pro wrestling excellence, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. Great angles and like brawls, and like this, of course, here was a bloodbath and the end of the feud, but just a tremendous rivalry up and down. This match is definitely like insane, just like perfect. Like it was. You have to remember at the time, like in 05 and 06 in particular, yeah, the Fed still like had the blood and stuff, but they were already sort of trending in a way that was like, just like booking overall was just like terrible, especially in 06 was just awful.
Yeah.
And like this show in particular, as Alex has mentioned many times, this felt like a changing of the guard type show. And this match was kind of one of those matches that like made the show so memorable and so big. It was like one of the 2 or 3 biggest feuds, in the entire company at the time. And I don't know, man, this like the whole LAX act, like the AJ Daniels team, like it was, this is definitely way up there in TNA history, not just Bound for Glory history.
I agree.
Oracle, do you remember in the build to this? I just remember, I don't know if it was a contract signing or what it was. There was some point in the build. It was either Conan or Homicide went up behind Christopher Daniels, and they put a wire coat hanger around his head and started twisting it on the back. Yeah, so violent. So different. Yeah. WWE was still doing blood and stuff, but there wasn't shit like that happening.
Right. It felt like 80s almost. Like
exactly.
There's like an 80s vibe to it. Yeah.
Fittingly, right? Unless I'm mistaken, this would have been for the NWA World Tag Team titles. There's got to be something magical about that.
They didn't switch until spring of 07. So yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Here's a match that would have lived under those 3 letters in the olden days. Our number 1. We head physical media time. We head to 2012.
Oh, Grin Grappler fame, perhaps?
Yeah.
Grin Grappler fame, the bloodbath between Beer Money, Bobby Roode, James Storm. I think people really have a lot of nostalgia for Beer Money. And this match is part of that story. It's the end of that story in a lot of ways. Obviously, they have the reunion, but let's be honest, this is the end of the story.
Yeah.
It's a match that was intended. We talked about this at length on Grin Grappler. This was supposed to be the main event of the show. Austin Aries got hot. They said, we'll do an Aries title match. He can win the belt, and this can be a non-title thing. And it has always felt like Roode and Storm wrestled that match like guys who were trying to make it clear we should have closed this show. Incredible match, Bobby. Incredible match. Watched it for the Grappler. And one of the best matches of either guy's career, certainly as singles, too. Certainly as singles wrestlers.
Yeah, this is another match that, I forgot about. And it's a very good pick for number 1. We talked about it at length on Grin Grappler, Bobby Roode. We all loved it. And yeah, I mean, it's a brawl. It's a fight. It's got everything.
Yeah. Indeed. Contrarian Alex. Who was the enforcer for this match?
King Mo, Muhammad Lawal.
Excellent. By the way, brother, look at King Mo on the back of this son. Look at Hogan.
Dude, were those available like in stores domestically?
I think what the reason is, because it was still so hot in the UK, I reckon these were a lot more easily accessible here. That's my gut feeling.
Yeah.
Because this is still like TNA really mattered in the UK,
Yeah, that after 2010, I think it became completely online based here in the States. So, my God, Joel Holbert, my prodigy, physical media wise over here, man. Yeah.
Yes. Focus on this one, Alex. Our number 1.
I don't know about number 1. It's a really, really fucking good match, and to those listening to this, go find our Bobby Roode Grin Grappler where we go in full detail into it. But it's so strange because all of the momentum, it's so TNA, because I remember watching this show and all the momentum TNA had in 2012. It felt so vindicated with this match, and then they killed it completely at the end of the show, and it was just like, oh, all right. Well,
I think, in fact, because are you talking about Jeff Hardy winning the strap?
Correct.
So I agree with that, but I actually think the bigger issue, personally, Big LG actually talked about it on this show because I asked him about his Bound for Glory matches. I think Devon being the big reveal was bad, dude. Like, really bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy now to joke and laugh about it. People were intrigued who the Aces and Eights guys were. And as soon as the big show reveal was Devon, like, it's a wrap, dude. Like, it's not, Devon's a legend in his own way. He's a tag legend, but like, he couldn't be the guy under the hood for that fucking angle, and it just couldn't be him.
Okay, so here's what I will maintain.
Yes.
And who am I to argue with fucking Doc Gallows? But
no, he didn't say that, to be clear. He said it was a fun match. That's all. Carry on. Yeah.
Well, okay, so here's the deal. Jeff Hardy winning fucked everything up. But what they should have done is Jeff Hardy didn't win, and then this match should have main evented. And even if, like, prior to this, Devon was the reveal, because it does lead, let's be honest, the moment at Lockdown 2013 where Bubba Ray and Devon reunite in the Aces and Eights, it's cool. I'm not.
It's cool. It's cool.
This match should have main evented the Bound for Glory, because this is, and especially now in this time we're doing of where Tony Khan brought back lights out matches, so fucking Triple Paul had to do it too. Like that. Now we're back there. Like this. Oh man, yeah. This isn't the best Bound for Glory match ever. This is really, really, really fucking good. And Joe and I are about as big as Bobby Roode and James Storm's fans as they come. Yeah. So fascinating. I respect the audience's the pick here. A great match.
My only pushback on this match historically, and this I've already seen, but in the chat say otherwise. I think the AMW blow off is better, which has always made like.
I've always felt that way.
Yeah, but the match is awesome, and I will say, Oracle, like, there is something romantic about two true fucking TNA guys winning this list, right? There's something cool about that. Like, these are two genuine TNA guys. This is a great match.
And it's also nice to have like the actual like last Bound for Glory that people remember fondly.
Correct.
Yeah.
The number one match instead of like. Will Ospreay versus Mike Bailey or something.
Well, fuck off. I will say, and this is probably in my mind, it's changing my opinion right now. The detail, because I'm not a big detail guy, but if you'll remember, the way that Bobby Roode beat Sting at Slammiversary was James Storm left his 6-pack by the ring. And so Bobby Roode picked up the beer bottle. And that's. And I'm not a big fucking slut for lore, but yeah, that stuff's good. So yeah,
Shield chair.
Maybe this is the best one.
I will say I don't want to relitigate Ace and Eights any further. But I do want to say Alex is correct, and if you've never seen it, when the Dudleys do their thing they do with their hands that they do when they greet each other, it is fucking awesome. It's just you can't do an 8-month angle for Bubba and Devon. You can't. It's just you can't do that.
Accurate.
It doesn't matter how well you do it. Like, it doesn't matter. You just can't do that. But I asked the big LG, and he did not remember this match originally. And then upon reminder, he had some fond memory. I mean, dude, they work with him and Knox under masks. Work with fucking Bubba and Sting on this show. Under hoods, they do that as part of the Ace and Eights. So fascinating times. Bobby, what was Dave's write up about 2012? I am intrigued.
2012, he did not have much from what I remember.
Thrown the towel in.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. It was mostly just like they didn't do a good business in the movie theaters for this show. I couldn't find an actual review of the show. I don't know if he had Brian do it or what, but like that's about all he had for Bound for Glory 2012. So,
all right. So at this point in the program, we're going to shout some honorable mentions. I would then, Bob, if it's okay with you, I would like us to just go over any of the ones we didn't cover in the Dave takes, because it's so money. Okay?
Oh, it's wonderful.
So we'll do that. But first, it's this one I mentioned. I was stunned. Sabin and Key not making this list blew my mind, bro. I think it would probably be my 6 or 7. I think that match is great.
Oh, it's amazing. And I had my whole thing of like, I already had it prepared. I was going to be like, Joe, can I explain the context of this match to the audience?
Yeah.
But that match is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely it is. You mentioned Bubba and AJ. You're a big proponent of that one, right? The title switch.
How did that not make it? I rewatched that match this week in preparation for this. That match is like legit a half hour long, and I think it is. Look, there are many speed bumps along the way in that program. If you've never seen the video that opens that pay-per-view, it's now on TNA's YouTube page, Bound for Glory 2013. That is the best video package TNA has ever done, where AJ's coming back to confront the leader of this group that could, threaten the existence of TNA. And yeah, fucking Mark Capante is a bit of a fucking idiot, but he found something in that run with Bully Ray that we talked about in our fucking Dudley Boys Grin Grappler. He tapped into something. And that match, despite the Dixie Carter being a heel character and despite fucking Nurse Vaccine on the outside, that match is fantastic.
Bro, you absolutely just changed Bubba's name. That's definitely not his name.
It's not Mark Caponte?
No, bro. It's definitely Mark. He's definitely a Mark.
It's LaMonaco or something.
Yeah, it's definitely you just made up a fake Bubba Ray name while saying his real name.
All right,
you just changed his whole fucking background and route.
All right, well,
Yeah, LaMonaco.
Mark Caponte.
Still a good match.
son of legendary Edouard Carpentier.
Exactly. So, genuinely. Wait, Muhammad Hassan. That's the name you took.
Yes.
You said Muhammad Hassan's real name. That's right. Thank you, Riley.
That's even funnier. Oh, shit.
She's easily confused, the fellas, It is what it is.
They're both Italian. What can I do? Like,
there's two things working against the match, right? AJ leaving is hilarious and ruins the entire lore.
Which makes AJ's performance in that match so much more fascinating.
It does.
He gives it his all.
People just, they don't like Bubba Ray Dudley very much. And I think there's now, we talked about this on the Dudley show at length. We don't need to do it again. The Bully Ray run was good, guys. I'm sorry. We can't change it. We saw it. We saw it. We can't change it. It is what it is. All right. Any other honorable mentions? I need to call out the one good match from the Korakuen show. It was on my list. It was number 5.
Guy.
Samoa Joe, low-key, Kaz Hayashi. Fucking rules, dude. Awesome match. I love that match. It's completely lost. No one has ever seen it. That's on mine. I also need to show love to the Wolves versus Trevor Lee and Brian Myers. Bob Brian led those kids to a good one. Any others want to call out before Bob goes through Dave's historical texts?
It's not a great match, but it's worth calling out that fucking Samoa Joe wrestled Jushin Liger at the first Bound for Glory.
That was cool, man.
It was cool. Yeah.
Actually a good match, but I don't know if it qualifies proper. The pre-show for the first Bound for Glory had Sanjay Dutt versus Alex Shelley versus Austin Aries versus Roderick Strong in a 4-way. Yeah. It's quite fantastic.
Something that doesn't qualify, that a few people put on their ballots mistakenly, Ric Flair and Mick Foley's Before the Glory match that they did on the Go Home TV.
That's Mick's other really good match in TNA.
Dude, imagine paying
against Kevin Nash and Ric Flair.
Imagine paying Ric Flair and Mick Foley and giving them full-time contracts and having them wrestle on the Go Home TV when you could have them wrestle on pay-per-view. Like, the wizardry of these people. Amazing.
Is that the one where Foley gets thrown off the stage?
Yeah. Match is awesome. Oracle's right. It's awesome.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have one more.
Yes.
The Monsters Ball from 2006, where it was Abyss, Raven, Spike Dudley, and Samoa Joe. That match fucking.
There you go.
Jake Roberts is the guest referee.
Yeah.
Speaking of 2006, am I the only one surprised that the Sting title match that didn't make it is that one? I think the match is fun as hell, dude.
Dude, we had a
Jarrett.
blast with that on the Grin Grappler we did for Jeff Jarrett. Yeah.
I think that match is better than the AJ title match, personally.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
Agreed.
for sure.
Yeah.
The next one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
To quote my wonderful co-host Joel Herbert, Kurt Angle's the enforcer who at one point jumps in the ring and assumes the role of Big John McCarthy and says, "Let's get it on."
So before we go to these historical takes, I said earlier I go Christian and Joe as my 1 seed. Just out of interest, top of your head, what would be your number 1 personally? Bobby, any strong feelings or any that's my one or not really?
I think it's still the first Monsters Ball.
Yeah. Same for you, Oracle, or would you go somewhere else?
First
Monsters Ball. Alex, what would be your ones? Same?
Yeah, first Monsters Ball. Yeah.
There you go. It's interesting. So a pretty unanimous lineup here, but not so much for the Grinners. Bobby, I believe we have not covered 20. We didn't cover 2010, did we? Did we cover there here?
No, I mean, there's not much. Dave's just kind of going over the big angle, like, and he's like, we'll see how it works. They probably don't need to do this, but we'll see how it goes, pretty much.
Okay, what do we have for 2013? The aforementioned Bully Ray AJ Styles show.
2013. Again, it was a lot of ratings talk. It was, they're going to have to cut payroll. Like, they're not doing well. There's always going to be something bigger going on instead of TNA. So people are going to watch that instead. So Dave's just kind of trying to figure out what they should do. Doesn't really have an answer. But 2014, as you can guess, is interesting.
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm waiting for this. Please go for it.
There's one word that can best describe what has historically been promoted as TNA's biggest show of the year, Bound for Glory: confusion. From the very beginning, with the elimination of the Bound for Glory series, a tournament that was a good idea in practice but rarely good in execution, to the announcement of the show in Kirk and Hall, it's been nothing but questions. The card wasn't decided until a few weeks before the show. Not one match was announced on television until the Wednesday before the show. With the exception of the main event, no matches had any television build-up or angles, and even the go-home show was filled with 2 hours of stuff, nothing that had anything to do with any of the matches. So what seemed to happen here is the taping schedule was not lined up with the pay-per-view schedule.
Yes.
So they ended up taking off the Wolves and Lashley, so the tag titles weren't defended. The World Heavyweight Championship wasn't defended, so it's a real mess.
It's basically like a non-canon show.
Yeah.
So, like, my presumption has always been, my guess has always been, they were so tight on money and they knew they were leaving Spike, they just said, like, why don't we just do a Wrestle One show and just call that Bound for Glory, and then we could just, But they still had to fly the boys over, though. So, I don't know. It's a weird one. What about 2015, Bobby?
Not a ton. He did like the Matt Hardy stuff. He thought it was kind of a roundabout way to get there, but he liked that they got there in the end because, they did an injunction with EC3 and it became a whole thing. So, but, they made it work. 2016, we did cover with the Billy Corgan stuff. 2017 is right when they're about to move to Toronto. So kind of a changing of the guard here. They held it in Ottawa. Dave said it's his latest rebirth of new people, but it felt exactly the same. Yeah, so he's not doing great. And then 2018.
He's not doing great. He's not doing great.
2018, all there really is. In the main event, Austin Aries and Johnny Impact wrestled. And
is that the one where Aries leaves?
Yeah.
So a little bit of lore about that.
Shit.
Like their big angle for that show was going to be Joey Janela was coming to TNA.
I had no idea, and that's very funny.
He had broken his leg, I think. He wrestled Psychosis that year and like that summer, and I think broke his leg or his foot or something. Something happened, but like the big idea for that show was they were gonna debut Joey Janela for TNA.
Wow. As you were, Bobby. Wow.
So after Johnny Impact pinned Austin Aries to win the Impact title, Aries got right up, walked out, and flipped off people on the way out. He then missed the next 2 nights of television. The entire situation has been an attempt to do a work shoot, and while other sources are reporting that what happened wasn't planned and that everything on TV was rearranged, key people involved, when directly asked, would not answer, giving me the impression that the work shoot leading to the match is continuing.
Well, after that, everything worked out because, they made Tessa Blanchard their number 1 star, right?
Yeah.
Fucking lockjaw, yeah.
All right, so I do want to call out. I'm looking at my ballots here. The wonderful Grinners sent in. I just want to see if we missed anything significant. Tajiri wrestles on that Korakuen show, right?
He's in the main event.
Yeah. Wow. What's about on Tuesday? Maybe this is one that just missed out. AJ and Angle versus Bad Influence versus Chavo and Hernandez tag title match. Which is when I bring up the fact that Chavo got the cover treatment here in 2012. There he is in all his glory.
My God.
I'm looking here. What else was just a bit outside? Okay, 2010 had a couple ones that came close. I was surprised the Bucks and Machine Guns match didn't make it, I have to say. Because that's one that's like people talk about still, the opener.
Yeah.
AJ Kurt. No, it's just they just have like a moves match for the start of the show. It's a really exciting match. Kurt Anderson and Jeff is pretty good, but people only remember the angle, so I get it. He got a couple votes. Abyss and Foley got a few votes.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, this one got some votes. I like this match. AJ Booker and Christian, 2008.
It's a good one.
That was not bad.
I think that's like unanimously agreed upon as the best Booker T TNA match.
Yeah, which is like being the fastest Holbert. All right. Any other notes you'd like to share, Bobby? Or is that cover your extensive research for this program?
Yeah, I only went through 2018. I didn't go further than that.
It's fair. Not many people did.
Correct.
Final question. I mean, it is genuinely like it is a fitting list in the sense that so much of this list lives in a particular era of TNA, right? Like it just is what it is, man. That's the stuff people remember. That's the stuff people saw. Who's the definitive Bound for Glory wrestler? Which is so hard to answer, by the way. If you actually like, it's you want to just say AJ by default, but like he doesn't actually have like.
Based on this list, it's Sting.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess in some ways, though, right?
But again, like all we're like relying on is 5 years worth of a 20-year catalog.
It's weird, isn't it? What a weird promotion it's been. I find it to be a fascinating story. This show on Sunday will probably do a pretty good number. I'm sure it'll have a good house, right? I don't think I'm talking out of turn to say that the talent is not, what it was in 2007. But it's a different industry, in fairness, right? They're still kicking. I mean,
I'm looking at the card right now.
They got a big win on the CW network on Tuesday. That's got to count for something. God bless.
It's like if it's TNA's like they started like with 1985 World Class, and then like they've
just
been
kept
1986 to 1988 World Class for 20 years, or 15 years or whatever.
They certainly were. Like, I definitely think those 2010 years, they are actually like a hidden promotion. What they are now is really bizarre because they are like they do matter again now.
They're basically like what ECW was when like they were getting their hand held by Vince in 97, 98.
See, I agree, but how weird does that sound when you say it out loud?
Mm-hmm. I know. It's not the same, Alex, but it's like in the situation of like how they're being like.
It's the best comp. Like it's the only comp you can make.
It's the only comp. It's not the same, but it's also this. It's the same in the sense that they're getting their hand held, but it's also like.
Well, here's the thing. Like,
what the fuck does one final table mean?
Come on, bro. It's fucking symbolism, man. You AEW fans, Alex. You just don't have any fucking storytelling touch, dude. God. How many Carla Silver interviews have you seen? Come on, bro. Jesus. I'm just kidding. I don't know. So
I feel like the difference is because like how many unique TNA fans are there? Because in Alex's defense, there was a lot of just ECW fans who liked ECW.
Look, let's be clear. The comparison doesn't fully work.
It falls apart after the relationship.
We do have to be real, right? TNA, by hook or by crook, whether people like it or not, are a more consistent operation in terms of ticket sales now than at almost any other point in their history. We can make of that what we will, but it's the truth, right? So it's it's a fascinating thing. I don't know what to make of TNA's current state. Again, I joked, but their team beat the NXT team on Tuesday.
If it's like NXT, like the people who go to NXT or whatever, saw TNA and they go, "Oh, this is actually slightly better than NXT, so we're going to go here instead."
I'll say this, as a wrestling fan, there are times I watch it and I do have fun with it. There are times I watch it and it's terrible. But I think that's the way of most wrestling, to be honest.
Have they banned blood there now officially?
That was the word, yeah. I haven't watched close enough in the last few months. I'd say this, though. I tweeted a clip from it, and it got a little bit of buzz on Twitter. Other people were talking about it. Mustafa Ali is, really good this year, dude. In Oracle, I've not been a big fan historically.
The Page match was pretty good. Dylan and I watched that the other day. That match was pretty good.
He worked with Dango last night on TV, and they had a hell of a wrestling match. Really good match. There are still some guys that... when I saw Eric Young in another fucking street fight last night on TV. The guys still work really hard. It's just, it's an interesting crew they've got now, right? There's some of the matches on Sunday's card. I mean, with all respect, they're just insane matches to do on pay-per-view.
Let's see what's on there.
Indeed.
How much is this show?
Too much.
Tell me.
I don't know. It's got to be full price, right? Was it $40, Bob? Do you know?
Yeah, 30 or 40, yeah.
Iconics are on the pre-show, so I think you're going to get the most bang for your buck for free.
True. bang for something else maybe. But oh wait, oh sorry, we're live. Hey folks,
brother.
Brother.
So do we have any? Are we just gonna say Sting and call it a day? What do you think?
Oh yeah, we were actually having a talking point there. I don't know. Joe had more longevity because he had the Kaz Hayashi and Low-Ki triple threat.
True, but does that count? Like,
apparently,
no one saw it other than me.
I mean, with that fucking mindset, Velvet Sky's got a pretty good case.
Kurt Angle's a good shout. Kurt Angle's a good shout, dude.
He is. He wrestled like well up into the 2010s.
Yeah. Interesting. Chat, who is it? Matt's got Kurt Angle. Any other guesses answers in the chat? Guesses is about the best you can do, I suppose. Nonetheless, the Oracle of Wrestling, I do want to know if you buy the show, you can watch it with us on the Grin Along, which would be
that's why I'm
unbelievably funny.
Because I'm going to be on vacation for, funny enough, I'm going to be on vacation for Wrestle Dream. That's the 18th, right?
Yeah, don't tell Dave about that because that'd be bad for Joe's case. Don't tell him.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do that when I'm at my parents'. So I might. I don't know. I can't guarantee Sunday. It's what time does the show start?
I think it's like 7 Eastern, maybe.
Oh shit! Chiefs Lions are on Sunday night. Fuck.
No,
maybe we'll see.
Tell me with the cost. We may be able to negotiate a split cost thing because that would. The idea of watching the Dudleys versus the Hardys with the Oracle of Wrestling does sound like a fucking. I'm Christmas tree early.
I'll say that.
Yeah. All right. We'll figure it out. Awesome. There we go, folks. There we go. Chris Daniels did come up a lot. Absolutely did. Let's do some plugs going out here. This has been a blast. I want to stress again, Adonis is in the chat right now.
Who the fuck is Special Agent O?
I don't know.
Or Jason Hotch, for that matter.
He's a hell of a worker. You'd like him. Hell of a worker. Very good. Very good.
Frankie Kazarian on the first Bound for Glory. And
still got it, bro. The CW.
A lot of NXT people on this show.
There is. That's aggressive. But you see that great war match, though, with the Agent Zero guy?
I do.
Very tasty affair. Very tasty.
Is Mance Warner still good, or is he still kind of like whatever?
I like Mance. Okay. Link is in the chat for tomorrow's Grin Along, which will be live in like 7 hours or something, which is great news. Bob, do you have any plugs?
Grin Grappler to Jerry is maybe Tuesday. If it is, join us for that.
Confident, right, guys? Tuesday? What do we think?
I think I can do it. Yeah, I can do it.
Okay. I think we're going to go... I said this in the group chat, but I think we're going to go 14th, 4th of November, 25th of November, if we can, because then we have 3 weeks between the shows at least, and then we're back on track at the end of November, right? Like, because we need to make up one, so I think that's what we're going to do. Yes, Bobby, anything else? Sorry, man, I just wanted to clarify.
No, I mean, that's the next time I'll be here, I think, and then after that, I don't know. If you're going to be at Wrestle Dream, come say what's up. That's about it, I think, yeah.
You signing autos?
Yeah, you got to send me $25 first to my Venmo, though.
You're not accepting cash?
No. I don't carry cash.
All right, bro. Sorry. Oracle, any plugs?
Grin Grappler to Jury. 95% sure that's on Tuesday. The 14th of October. I think that's right.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Possibly a Grindication in the near future.
Yeah, we're going to try and get that done, yeah.
So, because of all the mess of what's been going on with the mic cord and a lot more serious things in my life, to be honest.
The
WCW show has been put on hold, but hopefully we can.
Yeah, it's fine. No rush.
We can do something with that. But other than that, you know, I'm back on board for now until someone inevitably takes my new mic cord.
God forbid those fuckers.
Yeah.
Contrarian Alex, I think so. Contrarian Alex, tell us what's happening over at the Contrarians.
I was just thinking of Oracle's brother breaking in, just saying, talking too much shit about any wrestling. This is my lifeline. Give me that cord. Man, a lot's going on over there. We recently recorded a Blade Runner episode with some of our friends from Australia. Upcoming is Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, which is just a fucking atrocious movie. In addition to that, over on our Patreon page, we got a lot going on. We recorded a commentary track for to conclude our Summer of MTV Movie Award winners. We did a commentary track over the entire 1999 MTV Movie Awards ceremony. If you've never seen Jim Carrey's acceptance speech from that, it is quite the sight to behold. And more importantly, I kind of pigeonholed Julio into this scenario. It's going to go up on our Patreon page for free for anybody to listen to. Julio and I recorded a commentary track over the Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi match. So,
I presumed that's what you were hinting at, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
During which Julio went, "Oof, huh? What?" many times.
It's good stuff, dude. Respect. Tremendous. Please support the Contrarians. We hope to be back with this crew on Tuesday's Grin Grappler. I will be back in mere hours. The Oracle of Wrestling might be there, he might not. Adonis will be there. Otherwise, I'll be solo one-man booth for Crown Jewel, Cena and AJ. Then in the evening, I'll be back for Collision. Sunday afternoon, Buster and Novi are doing like an NFL grin-along.
Hell yeah.
I think their team. I think the Panthers are playing the Cowboys. I think. So they're going to do that.
They are, yeah.
Sunday night, we're doing Bound for Glory. The Oracle of Wrestling might be there, which would be very funny, no question. You, by the way, Oracle, I do need to note this. This is important because this may sway you. The last time we did a live TNA grin along, the AJ Francis spot happened, and
see, now you're really starting to,
brother,
Lions Chiefs on the TV or Lions Chiefs on the second screen on the laptop.
Yes.
With the Bound for Glory on the screen here. I don't know.
That was one of those magical moments, man. I mean, only in TNA do you get stuff like that. So yeah, it should be a hell of a time, and then a whole bunch of stuff next week. So much happening here at the Grid. And I do want to note, next Friday, 1 week from tonight, the All-Star LNG Draft. Every wrestler currently active today on the board. We don't have the full lineup yet. We've had a couple cancellations, so we'll get that to you guys soon. But that will be next Friday. Very exciting times. We hope you've enjoyed this, folks. I really think this is a format that we're going to go back to a lot because it's a really fun thing to kick around and celebrate a show's history to get in the mood for its latest addition to the archives. We hope you've enjoyed this. Have a great weekend. We hope to see you for Crown Jewel. Keep grinning. All hail. And enjoy this outro. Goodbye, folks.